All right, let's talk about something we all know way too well. You've got that huge, super important thing you need to do, and yet you find yourself organizing your sock drawer or scrolling through your phone. Today, we're going to crack the code on how to stop procrastinating for good using the simple but powerful ideas from the classic book Eat That Frog.
I mean, that's the real question, isn't it? We have these big goals, we know what we need to do to get ahead, but for some reason, we just don't do it. What is it that makes us avoid the very tasks that could actually change everything for the better?
And this is the part that drives us all crazy, right? It's not like we don't know what to do. It's a totally human thing to do. So if you've ever felt stuck in that loop, trust me, you are not alone. But the good news? There's a brilliant, and I mean brilliantly simple way out.
And that solution comes from author Brian Tracy, and it's all built around this one kind of weird-sounding idea, eating the frog. Stick with me here, because this one little metaphor is the key to unlocking a level of productivity you didn't even know you had.
So, what on earth is a frog? Well, think of it this way. Your frog is that one single task in your to-do list that's the biggest, the most important, and honestly, probably the one you're dreading the most. It's also the one that will have the biggest positive impact on your life the second it's done. That's your frog.
And every single day, we face this choice. Most people, what do? They nibble on the easy, small stuff all morning. They're busy but not productive. And that big, ugly frog, they save it for later, which often means never. Successful people, they do the exact opposite. They eat that frog first thing.
Because here's the magic that happens when you do that. You don't just get a hard task done. No, you get this massive shot of confidence and a huge feeling of accomplishment. It creates this powerful momentum that just snowballs through the rest of your day. Suddenly, everything else feels so much easier. Okay, so the idea is simple. Get it? But how do we actually do it, especially when that frog looks particularly unappetizing? Well, let's get into the toolkit. These are the practical strategies you can start using literally tonight.
And it all starts with planning. As Brian Tracy himself says, a little bit of planning up front pays off big time later. The whole point isn't just to work hard, it's to work smart. And that starts before your day even gets going.
This habit is such a game changer, and it's so simple. Just take 5 minutes before you go to bed and write down what you need to do tomorrow. Most importantly, identify that one big frog. When you wake up, there's no confusion, no wondering where to start. You just execute.
All right, the next tool in the box is all about focus. You might have heard of this. It's the 80-20 rule, or the Pareto principle. Basically, it says that for most things in life, 80% of your results come from just 20% of your actions. Think about that. Most of what we do doesn't actually matter that much.
And here's the kicker. Your frog is almost always sitting right there in that critical 20%. The real secret to success is getting good at identifying those few high-impact tasks and being ruthless about focusing on them, instead of getting lost in the 80% of busy work that doesn't really move the needle.
But what happens when your frog feels less like a frog and more like a giant monster? Well, you break it down. Any huge, overwhelming project is really just a bunch of small, totally manageable steps. Your job is to find the very first tiny piece you can do, and just do that one thing. That first step is all it takes to build momentum.
Now, having the right plan is half the battle. But the other half, that's winning the war for your attention. This next part is all about setting up your environment and your mind to win.
And here they are, the usual suspects. Procrastination's best friends. Every single ping, buzz, and notification is engineered to pull your attention away from what's truly important. They're designed to pull you away from your frog.
So, the solution has to be intentional. You see, deep, focused work doesn't just happen by accident. You have to actively create the space for it. That means putting the phone on silent, maybe even in another room, closing all those extra tabs, and carving out blocks of time where you are totally unreachable.
And this might be the single most important idea in this entire system. We always think we need to feel motivated to get things done. But here's the truth. Motivation is an emotion. It comes and goes. Discipline, on the other hand, that's a system you can count on. This is the absolute core of what separates high achievers from everyone else. They don't wait for inspiration to strike. They rely on their habits and their discipline to take action, especially on the days they don't feel like it. That is how you build unstoppable momentum.
Okay, we've gone through the what, the why, and the how. We have the concept, the tools, and the mindset. So now it's time to bring it all home and talk about taking that very first bite.
So the takeaway here is really, really simple.
At the end of the day, it just comes down to this. Stop putting it off.
Stop waiting for that perfect moment or that magical feeling of motivation to show up. It's not coming.
Because the only thing that actually creates results, the only thing that moves you forward, is taking action.
And it all starts with just one single action, one task. It's the consistency of eating that one frog, day in and day out, that compounds over time into unbelievable success. So, I'm going to leave you with that question. Think about it tonight. What is that one task, your number one frog, that could make the biggest difference in your life right now? Figure out what it is, and then make a promise to yourself that you're going to eat it first thing tomorrow morning. Just try it. You'll be amazed at what happens.